Hey guys, and welcome back to FSM Trading. Today we're going to be talking about vaccines. Many of you guys have been thinking, is this the right time to trade? Is this the right time to invest? And I want to take you through two opposing thoughts that could help you make the best decision in the market. I'm going to start off playing the devil's advocate and actually start off with the negative. Now, the negative would be that Moderna, BioNTech, just take a look at this particular piece of news here saying that Moderna, BioNTech post worst day for vaccine stocks in a month. Now, this is very, very true. Some of you might be very confused that are trading or holding on to the stocks at the moment and be thinking, why is my stock going down at the moment? Why is this happening when people are actually being cured from this virus and people are actually getting better, meaning that the vaccine is working from Moderna, Pfizer that have been approved? Why would that mean that my stock is actually going down in price? Now, the first thing to let you guys know is that these particular stocks and pharmaceutical companies are very, very difficult to evaluate. These are huge $200, $500 billion, $500 billion companies, not $500. So these are huge companies at the moment, and they're very, very hard to evaluate because their vaccines, it's hard to actually know which ones are profitable. Pfizer did actually come out and say initially that their COVID-19 vaccine would start off as a non-profit solution to the environment. So it wasn't starting out as something that was going to make them money. Now, if I was a positive person, what would I be looking for? If I was looking for maybe some reason to invest in the stock or to go up, from a positive standpoint would be that in the future, this could definitely go up because it could be something that initially it might be one jab this particular year, and next year, just like the flu jab, it might be something that you have to retake, meaning that that would increase supply. That would also increase the profit share that Pfizer, Moderna, any of these pharmaceuticals have. However, on a negative standpoint, how do you make the most money in a market? Is always definitely pandemics or some sort of disturbance that happens, but also thinking what could possibly go wrong. How people tend to think of the market is if things go right, this is how things should go. And naturally, definitely, if you're thinking from a common sense point of view, vaccines should be increasing in price. However, if you're thinking from a smart direction, have a look at this. And just to play devil's advocate, look here. This is Jeremy Hunt from the UK explaining that coronavirus vaccines could run out of stock in January. Now, why are we seeing generally some things play out? I'll even show you some of the graphs for some of the top 5, I would say, in the market for pharmaceuticals. Some of them have obviously got a COVID-19 vaccine in place as well. And we can look at it further. So bear that in mind, and we'll come back to this. Coronavirus vaccine stocks to run out in January, Jeremy Hunt claims. Let's take a look at a couple that you'd be more familiar with, Pfizer and Moderna. Now, those two are probably one of the two biggest ones that you would have heard of in the market at the moment, due to obviously the rise in coronavirus at the moment and COVID-19. These two are two of the biggest that have been probably bringing the most money and the most attention. Look at this over the chart of the last year for Pfizer. I mean, it's dropped, it's risen, it's just ranging really throughout the entire year. I mean, it started the year in January 2020 at around $37, and all the way a year later, despite all the news, we're still at $37. Despite the highs and the lows, this peak here we can see is obviously due to, I think it was around 94.5% effective rate that we found that Pfizer had. But since then, it's dropped all the way back down to how it started the year. Again, we can see almost a mirror image in the exact same chart in Moderna, which has done the exact same thing as you can see here. Moderna itself, almost a picture perfect image, exactly the same as what happened with Pfizer. Right at the end, we can see it rise to around $170, but it has dropped to $124. But it has risen from all the way in January from around $19. Now, why is that significant? I think that Moderna itself probably has the best chance of rising of any of the pharmaceutical companies next year and beyond. It's probably the most pure mRNA vaccine that's out there at the moment, and I think it does have a lot more potential than the others. As you can see, the others, they generally just seem to just stay flat. I mean, you can look here at any of the others, Merck, Astrazeneca, Johnson Johnson, they all just seem to flatline. And as you can see here, look here again, this is Merck, $190. It started in January 2020, and it's just flatlined. I mean, it's even dropped a little bit. It's even come down to $80. And you can see this amongst Johnson Johnson and AstraZeneca also. Now, what would that send signals to me is that why is this tend to be happening? Here again, AstraZeneca, $145, it came out in January 2020, and it's just ranged, and again, we're sitting at $150. It hasn't really moved. In a time, in a pandemic, where vaccines are at the front page every single day for bringing in new things, these things are still dropping. If I'm looking from a negative standpoint, but also to make from a money standpoint, I'm thinking what could possibly go wrong in 2021 with vaccines. Number one could be syringe shortages. Has Jeremy Hunt claimed, what if there isn't enough to go around? If these are proven vaccines and they're working, if demand suddenly increases, what if supply can't match that demand? That could be one that shortens it. Supply chain as well. How do we actually get all of these syringes and all of these, how do we actually get it everywhere around the world, around the country that needs it most, especially in tier 4 lockdowns and all the rest that are happening? You've got to be constantly looking in the market for things that could possibly make anything short or go up, meaning it's a buy signal, or short a sell signal. So I'd be looking at a few things in 2021, actually looking at generally if things could go well, definitely it does look like generally like they should increase. Vaccine stocks eventually will increase. I'm sure what they're doing will work, and year on year after year as they adapt to the new strains of COVID as well and bring out more vaccines, it should go up and make them profitable. However, if I was also thinking as an investor, as a trader, I'll be looking at moments where I could short. Don't just look at the news itself, because if you're just looking at the news, it could have already happened on the charts. So you want to be instantly looking at all of these things from a technical analysis viewpoint and also a fundamental viewpoint as well to make the best decision. I hope this has helped you. In 2021, my own individual thoughts would be that I do see the vaccines going up, but if any of these things do come into place, that there are any shortages for any reason, or the supply chain does shrink, or there can't be enough of these vaccines being administered around the world, we could see some of these particular companies' share price still come down, even though they're at the forefront of everything that's happening. So I hope this video helps you a lot. Hope you've enjoyed it. Please do take everything on board, and if you could, like, comment and subscribe to make sure that this video gets shared and seen by a lot more people. Thank you for listening.